It is the Field of 68 After Dark. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are on Sirius XM Channel 84. That's the ESPNU station. My name is Rob Doster. I'm joined tonight by Jeff Goodman and Doug Gottlieb. We got about 7 more minutes on the radio here. We're going to have the After Dark Afters. We'll spend about 15 minutes with the YouTube chat. So make sure you head over to YouTube. Make sure you get those questions in. Our producer, Dagan Hughes, is going to be giving them to us. So whatever funny questions you have, please let us know. We will answer it. We have some of the Brown stuff. So we are going to be answering questions. I do want to talk about Penny Hardaway because on Thursday night, he lit into the media. Right. They fell to 9-8 with a loss at home to SMU. They did not have DeAndre Williams. They did not have Landers Nolley. He cussed out some people. He got mad. And on Friday, he jumped on an Instagram live and he apologized. I figure there's nobody better to ask about this situation than 2 of the most opinionated individuals in the college basketball space that I know. So Goodman, I'm going to you first on this one. I know you got a relationship with Penny. I know you like him, but he's not doing himself any favors right now.
No, I mean, again, you see it with so many guys. All you got to do is kind of play the game a little bit with the local media, especially. But when you go after them and you're at a point right now where you're kind of and fighting for your coaching life is probably a term we shouldn't be using with Penny because he's got 100 million in the bank. So it's not like his livelihood depends on it. But certainly right now there are questions whether or not he's the right guy to lead the program. They haven't been to the tournament. He told me prior to the season, he knows there's pressure on him and they should be a tournament team with everything he had. But to go out there and a few weeks ago, blame it on the older guys. And now basically the younger guys, I got too many young guys, right? Like, what is it, Penny? Which one is it? Don't be John Calipari trying to, spin everything. Just whatever it is. The bottom line is all he had to do was take accountability. You're Penny effing Hardaway. Just take accountability, go up there and say, you know what? This is on me. This isn't about my players. This is on me. I got to figure this thing out, and I haven't done a great job at it, period. That's what he should have done.
He even could have done the fake no excuses excuse, right? Like I could get up here and tell you that I'm starting a 17-year-old and that they got 23 or 24-year-olds. Right. I could, but I'm not gonna. Right.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what he's doing. So I think there's a lot to it. I think that because he was kind of the chosen one and because there was so much backstabbing to get him in that place that I think he thought that he would be beyond reproach and he's not. That is a terrible job. I'm just going to point that out. That is a terrible.
It's not a terrible job. It's out of your mind. It is not a terrible job.
Can you
a terrible job is East Carolina.
Okay. It's a terrible, great job. It's like the UCLA football job, right? Where it's a terrible, great job, right? Where you're never really going to win at UCLA. Like, first of all, never follow a program that had John Calipari.
He's 2 coaches removed.
It doesn't matter how many coaches they need at UMass to prove. Like, don't follow that dude. He's unbelievable. Secondly, even if you tried the John Calipari model, doesn't work anymore. Even Cal knows it doesn't work anymore. Okay. Because of the top 20 kids, right? You're going to lose 5 to 10 of them to something not college basketball. And then they're now getting plucked off by Auburns and whomever. And now you can't, it's one thing to play with younger dudes. It's another thing to play with one guy who's reclassed, clearly not ready. And some of the other guys, they're not what Kentucky had. You don't have a Derrick Rose there, right? The other part about Memphis is you got all these Memphis players and all these parents and hangers-oners, and they want their kids to play, right? And my late father took a class from Woody Hayes. He says the best class he ever took. And Woody Hayes had a rule. He would not take a kid from Columbus unless he was absolutely sure he was going to be an All-American. And the idea is if that kid isn't great,
can't miss,
and you're taking him in and out of the game, everybody's pissed, and then they go back pissed to the neighborhood. So I think it's a mess, and I understand his frustration. I'm surprised that his staff, that Larry Brown couldn't consult with him and go like, hey, dude, you like take a breath, just take it on yourself, do the woe is me. I'm going to be better. What happened to Rasheed Wallace, by the way? He's made a couple of weird hires. Mike Miller walked away. Then Rasheed
because
Wallace.
you know why? You know why? Because these guys feel like they're not enough. According to my sources, they're not a part of it enough. They're not. Their voices aren't being. Rasheed left because, according to my, he didn't get vaxxed.
That's
that's
what it is.
The other guys, everybody who's been on his staff, I've heard the same thing that I've talked to, which is basically that they feel like their voice doesn't matter as much.
Right.
So,
Listen, and that's what
things
I'm saying.
aren't going well.
When everyone tells you you're the king, you're the greatest, it's really hard sometimes to go like, hey, I don't know everything. There's so much you don't know at coaching at that level, right? It's just so much you don't know. And when you've been a great player, he was a great player. And I spent time with him. I really like the dude.
I love Penny. Love him.
I genuinely like him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But he did not hire a staff that knew what he didn't know. He did not, and he did not, and he doesn't handle.
And you know who did? You know who did? Juwan Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
He went and hired Phil Martelli.
Exactly.
Right? He went and hired Phil Martelli.
Right.
Yes. And look, listen, somebody might say, well, Larry Brown's a better coach than Phil Martelli. Like, there's a difference. Phil Martelli is. I'll just be honest. When I've interviewed for jobs, the guy I've called for advice was Phil Martelli. Phil, who's the old head I should hire? Who's the recruiter I should hire? What should I do in practices in April? Like, he gave me, this is Phil Martelli, great advice. He's like, listen, if you get a job, I need you to do something for me. I was like, what is it, Phil? Tell me anything. And he goes, don't put in your offense in April and May. Nobody gives a shit. That's what he said. He said, nobody cares. He's like, do drills, have them play one-on-one. He's like, you know what? That first, be about the kids, be about their improvement. And you know what? It doesn't even matter what you run anyway. At the end of a game, you're going to give it to a kid and hope he makes a bucket and go one-on-one anyway.
Right.
So you're actually helping yourself.
Doug, 10 seconds on this. 10, not even. What do you fire Penny Hardaway after the season or not? If you're the AD?
No, I give him one more year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yep. Well, listen, this has been the Field of 68 After Dark. We are on YouTube. We are going to be doing the After Dark afters. You can join us. You can hit us with questions in the YouTube chat. So if you're watching there, please hang around for a couple more minutes. Grab yourself a beverage. Get ready for the rest of the night. This has been the Field of 68 After Dark. For Rob Doster, myself, for Jeff Goodman, for Doug Gottlieb. Thank you for being here.